Time for this thing to go.
Hi, I'm Mark Schneider. You're watching Schneider Classics. And you have till the 22nd to cast your vote in for the BD Speed Shack giveaway. But to be truthful here, I thought, you know what, let's make another video here because maybe give more than 3 minutes to explain who I am. And anybody else that, even if I don't win it, even if I don't get chosen to be the successor of the glorious chop up of a wonderful Chevy car, I wish all the best to whoever does go home, and I hope they burn some serious rubber off and have some fun with it. Now, what I mean by there was not enough time for 3 minutes, it took me like 3 hours of casting just to try and figure out what I should even say. It's exactly 3 minutes. That's not enough time for me to tell you guys everything. What I mean by when I sold all my toys, I had like 3 or 4 snowmobiles, and a lot of them were like I paid 70 bucks, or a buddy owed me 70 bucks. Like the first snowmobile I ever got, buddy owed me 70 bucks. He had a snowmobile sitting for 20 years in the tree line. I went, that'll make us even. We dragged it out, and like we shook hands, then we dragged it out, and then somehow we got it running, and it just kind of sparked. When I was 18, I think 18 or 19, I bought a 1969 2-ton, no, 3-ton, 3-ton, no, 5-ton, I don't remember, 2-ton, 3-ton, something, a big boy Chevy truck that I had so many plans for. And I found out at SEMA, I went, oh, I want to try and build a SEMA truck, and that got sold. It never, nothing ever went to it. I was tinkering on it. It's actually kind of the reason this whole channel exists, is that truck, and nothing ever happened to it. So yeah, I sold my 69, I sold 77 Kawasaki, I sold my John Deere, I sold like my whole video game collection like the year before, and then everything I kept that was like keepsake, other than like some very specific things, I sold the rest of it. It sucks because I grew up as a gamer, because I grew up with gamer parents, so video games were true in my blood. It sucks because, and even like all my hot rodding stuff, I sold all of my spare parts. I was going through everything. One big thing is my 2018 Polaris Sportsman 450. The first thing I have ever bought in brand new, ever in my entire life, like, because I don't really buy new stuff of anything. Even majority of my tools are all secondhand. Majority of everything, I make stuff. Like, here's a pile of rims and drive shafts and such. Even these, you can see these are homemade. I got these secondhand, but like they're made out of other stuff. I can't have anything brand new. Making a watering can for the girl, it's made out of just some copper, and the rest of it is over here. Okay, you see this thing is a motor. This is a spare motor for originally a buddy's truck, and now we don't know what we're going to do because the motor's working well again. This is not mine, this is for a buddy. I'm fixing it up. I need to do all the core supports. This I did buy and originally fix up, and I sold it to my grandfather, and now I'm kind of, he passed away, and so it's trying to sell. This is not mine. That is actually not mine. That is not mine. That is not mine. A lot of this stuff here, like, I just went through pretty much my whole yard, and it's full of hot rod stuff, and none of it's mine. And anything that is mine, I've paid dirt cheap for, or I've been screwed over on. I do remember some people were mentioning I have a Camaro. That's only sort of mine. I don't fully own it. There's some details I can't get into there. But that said, with everything that's here, the only thing I do own is my truck. And my truck, because I fixed this truck up in a month because I needed a vehicle. So I dragged this out of the field, and we built it and everything out of it. I was driving it until the exhaust manifold blew up, and then the head gasket went, and then my rear diff, because this thing does not go well on highways, because I just threw whatever diff that was in it, which is not, it's not geared properly, the entire drive line, because you have a 350 with 305 heads, like not proper, kind of old, built for higher torque, low horsepower, with a 1-ton transmission and a 90s 10-bolt rear end. The thing did not like the drive, and there are lots of problems with it. Or hopefully they can get that fixed, but I drove this truck for the first year and a bit of my apprenticeship after I built it, the first year, and then then it just kind of all fell apart again, and all these things cost money. What I really should do is spend $3 and put a posi with new axles, shafts that are 6-lug to match the truck out of the 14 bolt I have in the back that I got for free. That costs a lot of money to convert that, and then convert all the brackets, and then get all new hardware for it to go in said truck. So that kind of explains everything that's in the yard, and that kind of explains everything. Like, I have projects I'm working on stuff, but I don't own any of these things. This just kind of pays homage to everything I've ever grew up with, because funny enough, we are putting the cold air intake in it that's from my teenager years, because I had this exact same car. So I kept this when I was a teenager. Actually, I sold it and then I bought it back because he was just going to throw it out, and I was like, no, I can't, like, that's too much of a part of me. So now it's going to go in nothing. I grew up in a family that was poor. I got my first car the day I got my license, because I worked, what was it, when I was 12 I worked in the restaurant. When I was 8 years old I worked for my grandparents and everyone there, mowing lawns, doing side jobs. As soon as I turned 12 I was doing babysitting, and then I think maybe 13, either 12 or 13, I started working in the restaurant industry, and then I worked in the restaurant industry until I was 18, because I went to college, and then a lot of stuff in my life happened in that middle time. Before I was 18, I was in cadets. I was actually in the higher ranks, because I've been in cadets since I was like 7 or 8, and I was in the higher ranks, and so they were like, oh, we're going to actually send you for real training because you've done all the kid training. So I have in the filing cabinet my 2 Canadian Armed Forces certificates. They're random numbered certificates. I don't know if they mean anything to anybody. They mean something to me because I went and did base training. And I graduated with honor rolls when I was 18. Yes, when I was 18. But with that, I moved. My family's rocky. There's a lot of rockiness in there. The main reason I say that is because, well, ever since I've ever earned a paycheck, a portion of that's gone to my parents to help them with bills, help them with things. It wasn't really a thing of, like, part of it was I wanted things as a kid and we couldn't afford them. So how did I get those things? I went to work, and I started working at 8 years old. I have the original child forms. It's raining on me, but I don't care. I want to film this outside because my kid is starting to fall asleep inside. I've had my child labor forms since I was either like 12 or 13, like child labor forms. Like, parents have to sign them, I have to sign them, and then it has to go to the government, get signed, and then come back and it gets signed again, and it's crazy. And so because of that, I was a pretty, yeah, we're in the truck now because it's raining. And because of that, I was a pretty spunky teenager, and I made, because you don't pay taxes on it, I thought I made a fair bit of money. And because I have Missouri's, by the time I was 15, I was in the restaurant industry for a couple years. Yeah, and then when I turned 16 and stuff, I got my license. 15 and a half, I bought my first car. Because 15 is when I started working at Boston Pizza Canada, my local Boston Pizza. And by the time I was 17, I was in management. 15 or 16 or somewhere in there, I moved out. Not legally. I moved out because, one, I had my own car. I was working about 52 hours a week. I was getting all my school and staying my grades at 80 to 90%. And I was tired as hell. And I only lived 20 to 30 minutes away, but it was 20 to 30 minutes. So I got an apartment with one of my buddies that was like, it's not the most legal case because my name couldn't be on the lease and everything. So there's some things happened there that probably shouldn't have happened, but you have a 20-something-year-old and a 16-year-old renting an apartment. It was an experience, I can say that, but it gave me some realisms on my life. I'm not gonna lie, since then when I turned 18 and everything kind of went downhill, I went to the hospital. I was in the hospital once a month when I was 18 because I was having such high stress, and I've always had stress throughout my life. When my grandparents died when I was 7, I had a huge panic attack and huge panic ulcers because of stress. So stress has been a problem in my life my whole life. But I had stress when I was 18 because I was in management at a young age. You have guys who do not respect anything you do because you're the young kid in the restaurant bossing them around. On top of that, my bosses we had disagreements on where they're like, at that time I was like, you can retire. Even now I still think, I'm like, I could retire on $500,000. And people go like, that's stupid. I'm like, you look at my lifestyle right now, Like all of my bills are like $2,000 a month, $2 to $3,000 a month. $500,000, that's like $5,000 for the next 9 years. If you don't know how to put that into a savings fund where you earn high dividends and then you work on top of that, to me that's retirement, because I work a 40-hour job during the day, and then you see all this stuff around the yard. I'm fixing that for people. I think tomorrow I actually have to go and fix a mowing deck. I have to fully take it apart. I have to bring my welder and my grinder and all that there because they don't have a means to get it to me, and I gotta cut it apart, fix it, and do it. As you see, most of the stuff on this channel, I don't own like anything that gets videotaped on the channel. It's all stuff for people that I do on the side. On top of that, the last weekend I spent 21 hours on a roof that wasn't my own, just roofing for a random company because they were low people, and they're like, through a friend of a friend, he's like, hey, we need roofers. I was like, all right, I'll go do it. I need to pay for groceries this month. So I did roofing for a weekend. And now every second weekend I'm maybe starting to do roofing with him because he liked me. Great positive when a lot of companies reach out to you and say, you're amazing, keep working with us. And it's like, well, I'll see what I can do. Sorry, I can ramble and ramble and ramble. When I was 18, yeah, when I kept having panic attacks, like once a month I was in the hospital to the point where I completely collapsed. And they're like, you can't do this no more. If you keep doing this, you will have problems. And they very, very society to the point where you're having heart problems because of stress right now, and this is why you collapsed. And I quit my job right there, and I went to focus on school, and I went like, let's try and figure out my life and figure out. And then that led to 2 years of falling apart because the girl that I was with, my high school sweetheart for 4 of the 5 years, dumped me over the phone. And I didn't make the best decisions as a teenager. I'm not saying I'm all forgiving and screw her and all that stuff. I didn't make the best decisions. I wasn't the wisest kid. Obviously, I moved out at 15 because of many reasons, some family and some financial and some because I thought it was better for my health, and it wasn't. But that left me down a down spiral, and then I just got back into the trades and I started doing hot rodding, and I've worked with over the last couple of years just because I just wanted to work, and whatever came up. And during COVID, well, guess what became popular? The automotive industry. I did a summer working for a couple dealerships. I worked a couple detailing places, and then I started working at hot rod shops, and now I'm a level 2 through my apprenticeship, working on my level 3. And by 2025 I'll be a fully trained and Red Seal mechanic. I'm learning every day because cars are falling apart every day. I guess I just wanted to give a video of like who is more who I am. It went really on the fact that like I gave up all my toys. Yeah, I gave up my snowmobiles, I gave up my quad, I gave up my mini bike, I gave up a couple of my car projects that were like on the back burner. Like I said, I sold my 69, which I was really not happy about, and I gave up a big job opportunity for my son. I was going to move up north because I had a really big paying job opportunity up north that they really wanted me for because of my high school and because of my jobs and because of what businesses said about me, and they're willing to hire me and pay for pretty much like they were paying me a moving fee, they pay me a startup setup, and they housed me for like 6 to 8 months while I was working up north for a really good pay and a lot of benefits and everything. And I found out my son was going to be born, and we decided what would be best is to be around family. So I took a pay cut, and I still take a pay cut because I get a lot of job opportunities that tell me, hey, we'll pay you more, come work with us. And I tell them no, because I live 4 minutes away from my home, from this house we rent. I can't believe that we got and how many deposits had to put down, because 2 people with a truck that was falling apart as we literally drove everywhere because the exhaust fell off and it was loud as hell. Yeah, a lot of people looked at us the wrong way because there's this young kid with a pregnant girl in a truck that's loud as hell, that's 50 years old, that's falling apart literally as we're driving it. And we got lucky. We got lucky with this place. Really did. My parents give me crap for it a lot. They go, you just sell everything, because I don't have a whole lot of my childhood things. Part of that's my fault. A big part of that too is I gave pretty much all of it up. And it does, it leads... I'm not good about talking about this stuff because it brings up emotions, and I try very cool to be a cool, level-headed guy who doesn't do this, but I know it's healthy to show emotions, so it's just hard. It's hard because I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about the quad I bought brand new, the first thing I ever bought brand new, the first nice thing I ever owned that worked when I bought it. I didn't buy something that didn't work and I have to fix it. It just worked when I bought it. It sucks. Especially like my snowmobile. I fixed every single one of those snowmobiles, and like I worked hard, because when you buy a snowmobile for $70 and you just keep fixing them, and then you buy another one for $70 and you fix it, and like it's not like easy, because they're missing parts, they're 50 years old, you need the freaking, like, go on eBay and try and source out parts, you have to go to swap meets, and it takes years to build them, and then you get them perfectly running, and you let them go. It does suck. It really sucks. And that's why you don't see a lot of stuff on this channel be repeat stuff. There isn't repeat stuff. Why? Because it's either biggest thing, not mine, or two, it was fixed. Because it's easy to spend $100 and not worry about it. But when you spend $100, and now you're $500, $600, $700 into an item, and you can't afford to keep said thing because you have a $600 bill coming, or even a $300 bill, so you sell it off so you can pay that bill. And it sucks because I want to keep stuff. I finally want to keep stuff. Okay, come back. I just wanted to let you guys know. And you have till the 22nd. Do I even really want to input this in as a little continuation, a call to action? If you guys want to, I really appreciate it. And I do really appreciate every single person who has already voted for number 5 on DD Speed Shop. I really appreciate it because it means a lot to me. Because there are so many damn kind people in this world. And even this last winter, I shoveled snow driveways, I was fixing people's stuff, and I saw like 3 or 4 comments from people from my local town who found out about this and found out I was in it. And they left very nice comments on DD Speed Shop's video, and I read them, and it means a lot to me because it's just crazy how much you impact people's lives just by helping them out when you can. Okay, I need to end this video. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the end of this video, and I hope the best person gets that car and can burn the rubber off and have a lot of fun with it. See you guys in the next video. And guess what? I am finally getting in the stages where I just have a bit of money that I can scrape together for this thing that I'm trying to scrape together, something to fix the exhaust and maybe the motor. And I just bought a rear end off mechanics that I hopefully will fix the gearing ratio issue as a temp fix. I want to say thank you. Thank you everyone who's subscribed. Thank you everyone who's come along with me. Thank you everyone who gives such nice messages and such support, because I really appreciate it. It really helps me out and it makes me really happy. It makes me feel like I'm going down the right direction. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video.